Hello, welcome to Growing the Game podcast. I know it's been a while. We've brought this to you, but we're finally back after the break. Yeah, we've missed a couple of episodes, so today we want to just cover some few things we missed out on in the likes of the South African Club Championship, the FIBA Intercontinental Cup, the upcoming road to BAL, and also the Women Basketball League Africa. I also have with me here my regular co-host, who is always here anytime I need him. So, welcome, sir. Welcome back.
Hi, Gwaku. Thank you for the welcome. And yes, it's always great to be on the show.
Yeah, I think we missed a lot. We missed a lot. Afrobasket. We've missed the U16 Afrobasket as well. We just continue to move on and do what we do best.
Yes, definitely. There's a lot of basketball that has happened and a lot of basketball that's coming. So, yeah, man, it's going to be a great show ahead.
Yeah. So let's to start with. Let's just jump straight into the South African Basketball Club Championship. Let's start with that. A whole of a whole thing. Like there's a whole lot to discuss about this.
Yeah,
So
man.
let's just start with the interesting one. We saw the Basketball South Africa Federation release the list of teams, and we saw applied and approved, which which it is somehow sits well with me, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. Because for me, what I know is club championships teams are supposed to be winners of their provincial championships. So yeah, maybe you can take us through the procedure and take us through how we came about the applied and approved procedure.
Yeah, I think the reason that was the case of, yes, applied and approved was because, yes, most district leagues had not finished. So, obviously, in mitigation of that, BSA went through that process of saying, yes, uh, teams can now not go through the district competition process and just, if you have the funds, you can come and compete in the tournament. That's why you had your teams like, I guess, Mbekweni,
Yeah,
your
Cape Town Sharks.
Johannesburg Lions. Yes, so those teams competed in the national championships, and just some of them were there to make up the numbers. Some they, yes, like the Giants, went there to actually compete for the title and win.
Yeah, yeah. I was there actually on the event. I covered parts of
Yeah,
the event. Though I had to juggle work with the whole tournament, but I was there to witness some interesting basketball activities. Would you say let's take away the controversies, the happenings and everything. Would you say this would be one of the best club championships South Africa's ever had in terms of talents coming in and the whole setup?
now, I still have an issue with it from an organizational perspective. I think we need to do better. We need to take ourselves seriously if we want to be considered among the best basketball nations or considered being a basketball nation. So yes, those who had the funds could easily travel, get the best talent to compete for them and win. But in terms of what the whole organization of the tournament, it was and is still problematic for me. Yes, the final itself was great, I'm sure, for those who were there and the online viewers. It was a great final. Some great talents like Evans Kanapamo playing for the Marlins, George Williams playing for the Marlins as well.
Violence.
Of course, the Giants bringing in Nati Sibanyoni, Peter Prinsloo, and also some of the local talent that was there. The Giants obviously winning with mostly with South African born players. So it maybe shows that we are doing something right. Although some players, even though they have roots from other part of the continent, they were born here in South Africa. Yeah, yeah, they gave a great, display of themselves.
Yeah. I think for me, one thing I'll say is I've not witnessed a lot of club championships, but let's take away the era of Cape Town Tigers where they dominated day in day out because of the talent stacked in their team. Yeah, I think the competition wise was a bit balanced with in among the top four teams that made it to the semifinals. Even though we could see that the less teams, the teams that weren't that don't have the name as much like Cape Town Sharks and stuff. Try to bring in some imports in the likes of Emmanuel, Kevin Ibuka, Guinea's very own El Haj, and Equatorial Guinea's also Joshua Roberts. So I think teams went far to bring in some good talent to compete and to make this an interesting one.
Yeah, well, they did, but again, you cannot buy chemistry. You have to,
Yeah.
prepare together and know that players are there, have understand the system that the coaches want to play. And that was not the case with some of the clubs, and you saw some of
Yeah.
the results that we got, and also some of the teams that were just there to make the numbers. They didn't really help improve the quality of the competition. So
Hmm.
I think in future, going forward, districts need to plan better. I think districts across the country have to organize accordingly, maybe start from January to, let's say, July. They've played the district competitions, and then of course in let's say August they are doing the
Yeah.
provincial championships, and then the following month preparing for the national championship. I think also the national federation has to, it being the mother body, has to communicate this message to all what their members, which is the province, the districts. So, and that was not the case. I think the way it was created, it was as if, yeah, they wanted a certain winner they had a certain winner in mind in this competition.
Mm.
And yeah, looking at who played in the final, yeah, I don't know what you
It's
think,
tough.
and yes, how you think saw the
No,
situation play out in your mind.
for me, coming into this whole thing, it was obvious. It was obvious, regardless of the talents that were coming in. It was obvious that Joburg Giants were the favorite to win this thing. For me personally, seeing them play against the NBA Academy at the BAL finals in Joburg, I noticed that this team had a very solid base and they were very strong. They were going to be a problem moving forward. So I wasn't surprised seeing them win though. I wasn't surprised. I knew, but the most surprise, the most shocking surprise I had was KZN Marlins. You know, with all the news around them, they're going to court, sending BSA to court and everything to win the case and then participate here, and having to bring in some excellent players and still couldn't make it. Yeah, I would say maybe destiny happened, or it was supposed to be like that. As you said, you can't buy chemistry. You can't bring in players into the country 1 or 2 days before a tournament and expect to win. Joburg Giants have been playing together for a long time and they assembled a whole national team. I could say a whole
Yeah.
South African national team was there. So, yeah, these guys have been playing together for long and they know each other since from the time of Cape Town Tigers to MBB and now Joburg Giants. So, yeah, I think it was meant to be that way. Yeah, for me.
Yeah, I think also, I guess, good luck to them in the road to BAL. Hopefully, they get in that adequate preparation to get ready for the Elite 16. Obviously, there's a month. They don't have to go through the preliminary phase. They go to the
Yeah,
Elite
exactly.
16. So the competition there will be much tougher. So they need to prepare well. One another thing you'd like to see them do is participate in their district competitions, of course, and
Hmm.
see if they are a team that's here to stay and not fizzle out like your Cape Town Tigers, who were
Like
just
Cape Town
solely
Tigers.
built for the BAL. Oh, yeah, I think that's what you would like to see. What A proper investment in South African
Mm.
basketball, and them being built for the long term, and hopefully that will be the case in the maybe years to come. So that's
Yeah,
probably
hopefully.
the test. Yeah.
Yeah, and still staying on the club championship thing. It was unfortunate we couldn't witness the ladies finals. Vikings had to win by forfeit because there was some issues that came up in the whole event whereby where referees had to sabotage the games, where referees had to go on strike because of unpaid wages. And it was very sad that we couldn't witness an amazing finals that was going to be between Vikings and NBB, knowing that Vikings already lost the first game to NBB. What would have been your take on that final game between NBB and Vikings?
I don't know. The way MBB performed, it looked like they were on the way to winning the championship. It's just unfortunate that the referees had to go on strike. I think in South Africa, we have a culture of not, you know, recognizing the value of people who contribute to basketball. And that's why probably what transpired the day of the final, on the day the final was supposed to take place, happened. So until we fix certain things within our basketball of saying this is the payment, this is when we are going to pay you, and maybe also have contractual agreements so that you don't
Mm-hmm.
have these kind of issues. Because I've also heard that last year's officials, the national championships were not paid.
We're not paid. Yeah, I think
Now
so
you
as
are
well.
seeing that, yes, knowing that that could be the case in these national championships, that the officials who are officiating there took the measure of striking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I think again, yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
what's
you
your
can
take
finish.
on such. Yeah, I'm saying, what's your take on these issues of value, maybe valuing what people that contribute to basketball.
Yeah, for me, I'll say officiating or referees are very integral part of the game of basketball. Without officials, I don't think a basketball game can be played. We are obviously going to end up hurting each other and stuff. So I think,
Yeah,
yeah, as you said, we should value referees in the game. And also, I think going into the future or like moving forward, I think referees should sit with the federation, have a mutual agreement. Let's say, okay, before we start the tournament, maybe part payment should be made to us before we actually start the whole tournament. Then after the tournament, you could send us the rest. Then we could say we will not have these issues in future. Because if those issues are arising in the middle of a game where a final was supposed to be played, then referees are
yeah,
nowhere to be found because they striking. That's very bad. But I don't blame the referees because they are doing their job. They did their
yeah,
job perfectly well and they had to be paid. So yeah,
yes.
they took the stance. They took the stance to fight for their rights, and it's understandable. The question is, why didn't the federation pay them in time? They can't tell us they don't have money
Well,
because from what I know, teams were paid 8,000 rands to participate in this tournament. So they don't have any excuse then.
I mean, you see, again, there's a whole lot to dissect in this, what in the build up and what happened in the national championship. That, bad planning, the national federation not always not preparing in time for these kinds of competition. And, then you have these kinds of situations where referees go on strikes, or teams having to now scramble to get money, rather
Yeah.
when this could have been done early in the year, where that, okay, we have our district competition, let's try and access funding, let's inform sponsors in
Hmm.
time so that whoever wins, or the team that is already organized as sponsors throughout the competition, they go to the national championship knowing that they do not have to worry about finances. Until that gets rectified, then we are always going to continue having these issues within South African basketball. And
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't bode well for the game. I mean, we are going to go out in the continent, and yes, we will not have the best results because we do not plan well. And yes, there's just, yeah, planning to fail by the federation.
And besides, as it stands now, we don't know if there's two female teams in the Vikings and the NBB are going to represent South Africa at the WBLA qualifiers. That's the Women Basketball League Africa qualifiers. I've got no full information that they'll be going, but for what I know, the Vikings are soliciting for fans to go participate in the tournament in Namibia. We pray they could go participate because I think it's the qualifiers is starting in Kampala, Uganda from the 8th to the 17th of November. So I don't know
Yeah, and
if
the
they can make
women's
it.
and the women always, and there's also the qualifiers happening in Namibia for Zone 6. So
Okay,
obviously,
I think that's where
yes,
that's
yes,
where Vikings want to go to. So
That's where
Yeah,
Vikings want to go to as well. I mean, you see, now you are scrambling for money while you are trying to get, and can you get the kind of quality competition or what friendlies that are needed to prepare for that kind of tournament? Because you find that, Ferroviario de Maputo, the champions of Africa, might be playing in those qualifiers.
for sure,
Teams
for
from
sure, for
Zimbabwe,
sure.
Zambia, Angola, they'll be coming to compete for to qualify for the main UBLA championship tournament. So the Vikings clearly do not have the kind of resources they need to go to that championship. So again, we have to go back to ourselves and say, let's prepare better. Maybe November, December, use that time to, speak to the relevant people, the government departments, municipal
Yeah,
departments, get money, private, sector funding so that, when the season, when January begins, your district
you can
competition
just play.
starts and, yes.
Yeah, yeah. That is
So
it for
now
the club championship.
yeah, best of luck to Montana Vikings. Hopefully they do go, but when they do go, you don't hold much hope that they will do well in those qualifiers. So it's good exposure, but we are going there as yeah, how do you say, lambs to slaughter?
For me, I think it's a part for them to learn. So I don't expect much from them. It's a stepping stone, or how do they even say it? They are taking their initial step to continental tournaments whereby they have to learn the hard way. Then from there, they can come back, sit, rethink, and put things in place. Moving on. So
I
yeah, I
mean,
wish them all the best.
I don't know if you followed the Kenya Ports Authority women's team is here in South Africa. They've played a couple of friendlies. I'm sure you saw the result against they got against MBB, and yes, and they also beat the
Trying
select team or BNL team. So that's the kind of teams that they're going to face. The Kenya Ports Authority team, women's team, competed in the final in 2023 was, if I'm
yeah.
correct, yes, 2023. I mean, most of the women in probably a significant number of women who played in the final are still part of that Kenya Ports Authority team, and that's what South African teams should prepare themselves for. And I don't
Yeah.
think at this point in time we have the kinds of players that can match up right now. We have to again go back to ourselves, work what go back to the start from the ground, and start building from the ground up. Yeah,
Hence I said, it's a stepping stone, or it's a right path for them to learn the hard way. They have to go learn the hard way. Without learning the hard way, nothing is going to work.
because I think maybe on that point as well, saying learn the hard way. I think some of the things that I think what we here in South Africa are accustomed to is what doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And it's yeah,
Hmm.
as I think there's a quote that doing the same thing over and expecting the same result is a what sign of insanity. And the basketball situation right now in South Africa is insane because we keep on hoping for a different result while we still do the same thing.
Let's hope this one brings a change. You can never tell.
Yeah,
Moving
I
away
don't
from
hold
South
hope.
Africa,
Yeah,
moving away from South Africa. Let's hit the international intercontinental grounds whereby our history makers Al Ali Tripoli once again. They've shown us that they are real champions and they are a real powerhouse when it comes to African basketball. In 2025, in
yeah.
2025, let me not say no.
Yeah, I think it was good. They finished the season on a high after what losing the national championship to Benghazi. Yeah, obviously, most of the players that had won the BAL with them had now gone to other clubs. So now they had to, for this tournament, they got what players like Joel Almeida, who know the club, Jean Jacques Boissy, the club, the two Americans, the
Romeo
American
Ishmael,
and the Puerto Rican player. So
yeah, Romeo
yeah,
Ishmael and
they clearly
Marcos
fitted
Knight.
in well. So they fitted well within the team, and yeah, I think congratulations to Coach Ali. Is it Mohamed Kabdani from Egypt?
Mm,
who was able to get that third place finish at the Intercontinental Cup, and getting that team ready in such a short space of time. It's an
yeah,
amazing result for Libyan basketball, but also I'm sure they will want to plan better in the future and not just be a one and done team for the
yeah,
BAL, be that consistent presence there. But also you can see maybe there's also something good within Libyan basketball, that the top two teams are always the ones that are
hmm,
competing for the title and also making it to the BAL. We'll see with Benghazi this year how they prepare. We've seen that Mohamed Sadi is also. Oh well, I'm going off topic now, but yeah,
it's
Mohamed
fine.
Sadi. Yeah, there's. Let's see. Maybe with this Benghazi team, how far they go, how they recruit, but also just going back to Al Ahli Tripoli, it's a great result for them and for African basketball as a whole.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. I was really happy seeing them clinch that third position after their poor performance in the league itself. I think they didn't put more focus on the league. That's why they lost it. But going into the Intercontinental Cup, they made great signing. And I'm going to say it here categorically again. Kudos to their recruitment team. Their recruitment
Yeah,
team is top notch. I won't lie to you. They've got
yeah,
one of the best recruitment team in Africa because they always show that consistency of bringing in good products. They know the players that could fit into the system instantly without no
yeah,
adjustments being made. And they've shown it again. They brought Romeo in, they brought Marcus Knight in, they brought Ivan Almeida in, they brought Jane Jacques Boissy inside again, and it was just as I said, always you need a depth on the team. The moment you have a strong
yeah,
five, you need a
exactly,
depth on the bench. And they keep doing that. They
exactly.
bring in the depth on the bench, whereas the bench could even fight to give you a similar result that the starting five gave you on the court. So I think they've done well because we've seen Al Ali from Egypt go to the Intercontinental Cup and couldn't give us the results. We see Petro de Luanda also there and it didn't work. Zamalek and the co. So I think they've done a massive work. They've done a massive. It's just very bad we are not going to see them in this year's
Yes.
Basketball African League, and it's painful. It's painful. But yeah, for me, it's an excellent job.
I think here it's also always about consistency and, exactly having that core of players and, knowing that you know exactly how to recruit and, that these players, they can serve you well for the next, for what 1 to 5 years. And that's why I always, point to Angola in terms of this, where you've seen Petro, where they, since the very first BAL to this past one, where they've been finished in the top, consistently finished in the top four, and also
Mm-hmm.
competing in the, what is
Finals,
this, the Intercontinent, yes,
Continental
competing in
Cup.
the finals this year and winning it last year, competing in the Intercontinental Cup. They were actually the
Mm.
first club from Africa to win a single match at the tournament. And yeah,
Yeah,
of course, yeah, Al Ahly Tripoli going one better and finishing third. So I think if you want to follow a next proper model of success at this point in time, Petro's model or what they have going on in Angola is probably the best model to follow.
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. We can't deny that fact. Petro and Luanda are doing an excellent job with their system. It's very solid. It's very solid, and they've been consistent. They've been consistent, and yeah, I keep saying if other African countries can follow suit, it's going to be a nice thing. African basketball is going to develop in the blink of an eye without no hesitation. Things happen. Things happen. Recently, this news broke this evening that Mozambique might be facing a potential suspension. So you see, this goes back to federations not putting in much effort. So Libya has shown in the past 2 3 years, Libya Basketball Federation has shown some seriousness and commitment to basketball with the rise of their national team and their club teams. It's good. It's good. We like to see things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Just on that Mozambique issue, I think yes, it's actually quite sad because Mozambique was is a country with a strong basketball culture, and You'd obviously like to see their teams compete at the top level. They've always done it. I mean, you saw Ferroviario Maputo, the women's
Hmm.
team, win the club championship. It would be nice to see them come back and defend it. So you'd want for the National Federation of Mozambique to really resolve that issue. You FIBA Africa president is from that country, and I'm sure he
Okay.
might have his own feelings about that situation. So you want, yes, the Federation of Mozambique to really what step its game up, and also its administration, and how it also what plans going forward.
Yeah. We hope the best for them. We hope they resolve this thing quickly so it won't affect their basketball system and their club teams and national teams as well. Because if this happens, then the only thing is teams have nothing to fight for. They will just be playing for fun
Yeah.
because we know in that we fight and we still don't go anywhere. So we hope they resolve this quickly. Moving away
Just
from
on that, man. Yeah, I
yeah,
wanted to, sorry to interrupt you. What do you think
no, it's
about the
fine.
situation now with the NBA wanting to sell franchises for to the
When I heard this news, I don't know how I felt. It's a kind of mixed feeling for me. Some part of me feels it's a good thing, but the major part of me feels it's a bad thing because let's take it from the good angle whereby the good feelings. Okay, fine, they are going to buy a franchise. It's going to be a 12 permanent teams competing in the BL, whereby we're going to have arenas across, whereby we're going to have players who are going to play in a team for a long time. We are not going to see that this one comes in, this one leaves, this one comes in, this one leaves. We're not going to see that kind of structure. So this one is going to be like a whole team whereby players are going to stay for years, sign contracts. You know that okay, this guy's staying with this team for 5 years. This guy's staying with the infrastructure. I was happy with the infrastructure parts where they are bringing in. The franchise has to build in a a renowned arena where they could play. But the other bad thing for me is I fear it's going to crumble the local leagues. This is going to kill the local leagues, kill local talents, because this leagues, if this comes, it's going to be a top league in Africa, and
yeah,
local leagues won't be respected anymore. There is going to be nothing to fight for in the local leagues, or maybe unless FIBA comes up with another idea for the local leagues. But and the local talents, where are they going to go? Because coming in, these
yeah,
teams are going to get top-notch players, top-notch players to play for them because there is a whole lot of money involved in this. Because I'm not going to buy a franchise for millions of dollars or something and come settle for less. Do you get me? So local
yeah,
talents will be overlooked completely. And it's a good thing for the imports, for the players in the diaspora. It's a good thing for them, but a very bad thing for local players. And it is going to kill talents. What is a young guy or a young boy of 5 years old or 12 years old trying to play basketball going to dream of? I want to play basketball in Africa, but with this structure, how sure am I that I'm going to get into those 12 teams? The question also we should ask is there going to be expansion whereby every year they are going to bring in, they're going to expand the league by selling more franchise because we've got 54 countries in Africa. This
yeah.
is not a state. This is not just a country. This is a
American
continent.
state, yeah,
Yes, this is a continent. So if you are trying to bring a structure like that, you should make sure that it favors each and every country, all the
yeah,
54 countries. Then we could know that okay, yes, now the talents we have are going to be safe because they are going to be scouting from those leagues as well to the major leagues. Then we could say they have something to fight for. For now, you're saying 12, then it doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't make sense to me. So
yeah.
I think we should wait and hear we should wait and hear more from what the whole structure, how the whole structure is going to work out, and we can judge from there. But for me, it's a very bad idea, though. It's a very bad idea for.
Yeah, for me as well, I think, yeah, I have issues with it from, you're only having 12 permanent teams. It means, yes, how many other countries are going to be locked out of that opportunity? So you are finding that,
Mhm.
yes, a strong nation like an Angola will have a franchise, a country like Egypt will have a franchise, Morocco, Tunisia, Nigeria, possibly Rwanda, obviously Rwanda they'll have
Yeah,
maybe franchises.
hmm,
And yes, what about the rest of the continent? Does it also
exactly.
create a scenario where federations now have to say, hey, or club owners who feel left out of this, what situation, having to now speak among themselves to create their own inter-regional champion competitions. And as you see as well, like what you see with the East African, the Zone 5 tournament, where teams from Kenya, Burundi, and where else, Ethiopia, are competing against each other.
Franchise.
The franchising and the Zone 5, maybe the starting of alternative tournaments on the continent for what, where it's more inclusive and the clubs can engage in their own interregional conti, like a Zone
Mm,
5 tournament that you have in East Africa, where clubs from Kenya, Burundi, and Ethiopia are competing against each other. It could be the case
mm.
here in our zone, in Zone 6, and many other zones around the continent. So I don't know. I think it's a bad idea from that it excludes others, and it creates what an exclusive group of people that, that the NBA can what extract monetary finance from, and what I don't know, maybe in a way grow the NBA's footprint in differently on the continent.
Yeah, yeah. As I said, for me, it's really bad because if you are trying to bring in a system whereby you're going to scrap a system that is helping local teams, because look, a BAL like this is giving teams something to fight for in their leagues. So far,
Yeah,
if you see, every league is now pushing hard. Every team in their league are trying hard to put things in place to also get a chance to play in the BAL. And it's giving motivation to these local leagues, and we've seen the impact of this whole BL things on local leagues.
exactly,
Federations are putting measures to make their league look nice and attractive to potential sponsors, so they could beef up their leagues. So trying to scrap this and bring a 12 permanent team, then what are you trying to see to tell us now? Also, who are those going to buy the franchise, and where are those franchises going to be bought? Which countries are going to go for it? Do you get it? Now, let's say if Rwanda
obviously.
wants to buy, let's say if Rwanda wants to buy
i'm
about three
sure they
franchise.
will I'm sure they'll be a country that will put their hand up for a franchise. I'm sure Angola will be a country that puts its hand up for a franchise. Countries that are serious about basketball, maybe somewhere South Africa could be a country as well, given what maybe trying to exploit the commercial appeal of the country. Somebody could,
Mm,
yes, put their hand up and buy a franchise here for South Africa. It's always a great what destination for what many people. Yeah, I think. Say that being said, I think yes, it would be interesting to hear what the rest of the continent has to say about this matter, and this be there being an exclusive 12 grouping of 12 that what the G12 maybe, yeah.
I feel, I personally feel if it was done in the Euro League structure, whereby we could have a top tier and a second tier. So
Yeah,
the first two teams could get relegated to the lower division, and the top two teams from the lower division could get promoted every year in a calendar year after every
yeah,
calendar year. That would make sense, though we could have more teams coming into the top teams and coming down, some coming down as well. Then the competition could be balanced. But now you want to make it in an NBA system whereby you have specific teams. So let's say if Petro de Luanda buys a franchise now and they say we want to have a franchise in the BL. What will become? So that means they are no longer going to be allowed to play the league because they have a league on their own they are playing. Do you get the
yeah,
point?
exactly.
So I don't.
Yeah, yeah. I think it could hurt domestic leagues. It could hurt
Mhm.
the what African basketball system as a whole. And
Exactly.
we are trying. The game is still trying to develop, but now you have
Mhm.
this franchises coming through, and they're not really growing the game for Africa. It's about what the NBA stands to benefit and what they can extract from this continent. So yeah, it's
I always
very troubling.
there is one thing I always say. It's good to do business when it comes to sports and stuff. But the thing
Yeah,
is, don't put the business ahead of the project you're trying to build. You are
yeah,
building a solid project. The moment the business aspect become more than the project itself, then you're killing the project. Because now it's all about the money. It's not about the development
yeah,
anymore. Do you get it?
yeah.
What will
Yes,
become of
exactly.
the U12 leagues, U16 leagues, the grassroots? What will become of them? What will be their fate? The local grassroots leagues, what are they going to do?
I'm sure they can still exist. Like I'm saying now, you are gonna have alternative tournaments where clubs can still compete among themselves. Like where you have the situation in Europe, there is the Euro League, but there's also the Champions League that teams compete
Yeah,
in as well. Maybe it's not a great situation there in Europe. As you can see, there's also issues between where the NBA is also trying to start something there
in Europe.
that can also what push out EuroLeague and yes, push the interest of the NBA and other clubs like FIBA Europe as well
Mm.
on board with what the NBA is trying to do there in Europe.
But I think this idea of NBA trying to have European teams and African teams compete in the in-season tournament, it's this whole thing that is creating this mess now. Sorry if I call this a mess, but I think this idea of they having European teams and African teams participate in the in-season tournament is creating this whole thing now. And I think they
Yeah,
should sit down very well, review their whole plan, and come up with something that will benefit the country, the continent as well. I spoke with some people over there. They are like, no, it's not the obligation of BL or it's not the obligation of NBA to develop basketball in Africa. Fine, we are not asking them to develop basketball in Africa, but there is something good that is going on, and they can't just stand up one day
but
and just kill the dreams.
But I think they came under the guise of saying this is a partnership between us and FIBA Africa. But now all of a sudden it's a case of, we are now calling the shots here in African basketball.
Exactly,
And this is how we want
exactly,
things to happen. So it would
exactly.
be interesting to hear what FIBA Africa has to say, what the BAL has to
Hmm.
say with regards to what, yes, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver has just announced.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd love to see what yes, federations and continental body take the destiny of African basketball into its own hands and determine
Mm.
the way forward. Right now, what's happening is that a lot of countries, clubs are going to be excluded, and there's I don't think it's something that bodes well for basketball on the continent, which is still a growing sport.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's hope they sit and review all these things and come up with a better idea. Still staying on the BL issue, Road to BL will be starting very soon from the
Yeah,
15th to the 29th of October. And the
yeah,
the 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 groupings have already been made, whereby we've seen the
yeah,
East Division and the West Division, whereby five countries are going to host the qualifiers in the likes of Tanzania, Zambia, Mali,
yes.
what countries? Yeah, some other countries I think I've forgotten. So, yeah,
Uh,
what do you make of this? What do you make of this road to BL?
Yeah, I think it's still we are in for another exciting road to BAL tournament. Everybody wants their ticket to the BAL. It will be interesting from like how teams like Bravehearts, who had a surprise run last year, now they're no longer a secret. How they'll perform this year, as Zimbabwe's basket hounds coming back as well. They'll want to make up for the disappointment in the last few games at home when they held the qualifying tournament. They'll want to make up for that disappointment and try and qualify. Terror Magic, they haven't had a great start to their domestic season, so it will be interesting to see how they shape up in the preliminary qualifiers. Obviously, Roche Bar Mauritius Roche Warriors,
Yeah,
they're coming through. I think they'll just be there to make up the numbers. The last time they were here as well, they were just that team that was just there to participate. And then we also have that club from the Comoros, Jabal
yeah, Jabal,
Basket
yeah,
Koni. Yeah, not much is known
yeah,
about
Iconi.
them, but yeah. So yeah, I think there'll also be that team as well that comes to get the experience of the tournament. I don't know if they'll be a serious contender for a place in the Elite 16. So from this zone, I think my teams are Basket Hounds. It will probably be Bravehearts from Malawi. And I don't know about Botswana's police. Maybe there may be a dark horse in the tournament.
No, no, they aren't. They are not even in the listing. They are not even part of the groupings that came. So I don't think they'll be participating. Yeah, because if you look
Wow,
at Group
that's
E,
interesting.
if you look the Group E, we've got Matero Magic from Zambia, we've got Brave Hearts from Malawi, we've got Fiviaro, the Biara from Mozambique, we've
Okay.
got Basket Hoons
Yes,
from
all right.
Zimbabwe.
Yes.
Yeah, we've got Roche Boys, Warriors from Mauritius, and Jabal Basket Iconi from Comoros. So
Okay. Oh, all right. Now, yes, it's, oh, well, then it's disappointing that we don't have a team from Botswana then. I
mm,
would, one would have loved to see them and how they shape up this year. Obviously, it's good to see Ferroviario back in that competition.
mhm.
I think they'll be probably the team to look, probably the team that will be expected to finish first in this preliminary phase of the tournament.
Yeah,
And then obviously let's go to the other group E.
Group
This is
E.
in East Africa now. Dar City, Dynamo, BBC, Namuongo Blazers. Yeah, Dar City, they probably look like a strong team, I think, with what's this, led by Hashim Tabit, who's a former number two pick in the NBA. He's gotten by in
Mm.
the years, so yeah, probably just there for experience. But they seem like a team that's recruited well with their Americans. They are obviously Tanzanian champions as well.
Yeah, yeah, for
So
sure.
they are motivated going into that tournament, and it will be they will want to be the first team from their country to qualify for the what's this
Elite 16.
be a Elite 16, sorry. And then we have
Mm.
Dynamo Basketball Club. Obviously, they've been there before. They've qualified for the BAL, although things
Yeah.
didn't go end so
Go
well
well,
for
yeah.
them. It just, yeah, the politics are what they are. And hopefully, if they do
Yeah.
make it for the BAL, that, there is a resolution that is found before the tip
Yeah,
off of the
exactly.
tournament. Yes, baby steps. They still have to make it to the Elite 16. So they are a team that clearly know how to recruit well in this tournament, being the first
Mm-hmm.
club from Burundi to have qualified for the
To the
BAL.
to the
So a
BL,
lot
yeah.
will be expected from them. Namuongo Blazers, they're making their debut, but I think maybe an advantage they have is that they have most of the players from City Oilers, like Tony
Mm.
Drileba, Ivan Mohezi. They have players like Tony Drileba, Ivan Mohezi, James Okello. This is Namongo Blazers now. And who else? There's a player from many South Africans might know, that is Anthony Chikwueze,
Yeah.
who played for
Chikwueze.
and he's played around in countries like in his home country, Nigeria, for Hoops and Reed.
Mm.
He won a championship in Liberia last year with Mighty Barol. He's played in Cote
Bowling, yeah.
d'Ivoire and Mozambique. So yeah, they're a very good quality team. It will be interesting who they recruit for internationally to help them qualify for the Elite 16. And then, of course, let's go to the West
The West
Division.
Division, the
Yeah, I
interesting
think
part
that's
of
probably
it.
the toughest. Yeah, the toughest in the continent. I think, yeah, you have your first, CRBT Timbuktu, the champions of Mali.
Yeah, first timers.
Alahi Benghazi coming back, and then here's Duan from Burkina Faso and Central Center Federal. Well, I
From
don't
Guinea.
know much. about the two teams from Burkina Faso and Mali. I'm not sorry, and Guinea. But CRBT, the one familiar player is who Mamadou Keita from who played for what Stade Malien
Malian,
previously.
yeah.
He also had a stint in Morocco, so
Hmm.
that's a player who with a lot of experience who can carry the hopes of Mali. Mali is a strong
Exactly.
nation in terms of basketball. We saw how they performed in what's this, the Afro basket recently,
Basket.
and I think yes, and also there and another player is Khalil Fofana from Guinea, who's an international of that country.
Hmm.
He'll
Yeah, yeah,
probably
exactly.
add value to the team. And then Al Ahly Benghazi, they've gone on a signing spree, signing Jonathan
Yeah,
Gordon.
crazy.
Uh, yeah. So they've also gotten the what Al Ittihad
Ahmed
coach
Umar.
to lead them. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
Ahmed Umar.
also who's this Mohamed Sadi, the Libyan
Mm,
international BAL champion. So
yeah.
they are racking up on the talent on the what on the court and also on terms of technical expertise of
Mm,
coaching. So yeah, they'll probably are serious about wanting to make a comeback to the BAL, and then
yeah.
I'm not sure you. What do you think about yes, maybe with the Division East, and before we go on with the rest of the West, what
The
are your
West.
views on the yeah and the
The East looks exciting to me. When you look at Group D, it's going to be a good matchup in Group D in the East, whereby you have Dar City, Dynamo, and Blazers. I think Blazers have been in good form in their league, and they've made it to the final of the Uganda
yeah
National League. So they've been on a good run. So they I think they will be coming in with that energy as well. And Dynamo have been off since their season end. We've not heard much about them.
yeah
So I think maybe that cold feet or something might come in. We don't know if they put in work behind scenes or but they always end up making better recruitment to come into this
yes
tournament. So yeah, that City just finished their league. I think 2 days ago or a day ago, whereby they won their league. So I think that group will be a tough one to talk about. But I see Dynamo qualifying if they get their recruitment right. I see them sealing through that group. Though it's going to be the first and second. So let's say it's going to be the first and second to qualify from each group. So I think I'll go for Blazers and Dynamo qualifying from that group in the group
oh
D.
okay
Yeah.
and then the other
Then
group
Group E, Material Magic, Bravehearts, Fivaro, Basket Wounds, Roche Boys, and Jabari. I'll give it to Bravehearts, Matero, and Fivaro. Though Basket Hoons have done good so far, but I still don't see their strengths. Yeah, still don't see their strengths. As you said, the Roach boys are just coming in to add up to numbers. Jabari also to add up to numbers. So I don't really expect much from them. But I see Matero Magic, Braveheart, and Fevaro going through for me in Group E.
yeah
Just as simple as that. But I think from the East Division, because they're going to take around 7 teams from the East Division. If I'm not
yeah
mistaken,
so
7 teams are no, it's the West. So the East is 6 teams that are going to make it from the West to join the Elite 16, the top two in the Elite 16 already. So I think the
yeah
6 teams, if I would say the 6 teams, that City, Dynamo, Blazers, Matero Magic, yeah, Bravehearts and Fivaro for me.
yes
Maybe those would be
all
the team
right
to go through. Yeah.
all right yeah just going back to Group B and C in the West.
Mm,
Johannes Club
Abidjan.
Abidjan, Elan Coton,
Yeah.
and yes, Liberia. I guess they're still having their championship, and
Yeah, yeah.
Spintex Knights of Ghana. Yeah, in
My
that group,
boys.
I think the club. Yeah, oh, yes, your homeboys. Maybe let you have this one. Yeah, for
Okay, okay. Yeah,
sentimental
yeah,
reason.
yeah. Let me feel proud. Let me feel proud. My boys are coming back, so
Yeah,
let me just put on that you know. Yeah, yeah. So this group has always been an interesting group since last year. Last year
yeah,
we had Elon Couton, we had Mighty Baroli, we have Elan we had ABC Fighters, and we had Sprinters Night in it last year. And The three teams that made it out was the teams that made it out last year was ABC, Lankuton, Spring Test Knights. I think all the four teams made it to the next round, last round. So this group is going to be interesting. Good signings by a good team. JCA has got a good team, no doubt. We always rank Ivory Coast teams to be one of the best when it's coming to this kind of tournaments with a lot of experience. With their coach being, what's this guy named, former player of
Stefan Konate, yes.
yes, Stephen Konyate being their coach, very tactical. He's got the experience when it comes to this kind of arena. So I think he's going to do a good job in this group. Alan Couton, yes, the champions of Benin. And always they also do
Yeah.
a bit okay with their recruitment. We yet to see, let's see the recruitment they are going to make coming into this. We've not heard much of them, but from what I've gathered, they are in a training camp, training tirelessly and preparing for the road to BL. So I think last year they made some good signings. So I expect them to do some good signings as well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Libya, we're going to have two newcomers because right now it's in the finals of their league. They've got LPA and I think National Authorities or something like that. I think called National Ports Authorities or something. I'm just not sure about the name. Coming into the finals, so we're still waiting for them. They are in the finals, yet to start the finals, so we don't know who is coming out from that side. But Springtest Knights, what can
Yeah.
I say? The unbeaten team for the past 2 years, they've never lost a game in the league from the regular
Oh,
season
wow.
to the playoffs. They've never lost a game.
Yeah.
For two times in a row, they are going to the playoffs. This season they've gone unbeaten as well again, going to the playoffs. So they have one of their star players called James Amoto, who had a stint in
Yes.
Rwanda for UGB and was very phenomenal in the season as well. A key part of UGB's
Yeah.
success to the third place in Rwanda last season. So he's back with the team again, and they are doing good, preparing for the playoffs as well in Ghana. So for me, I always see this group to be easy for me. I last year I predicted, and it went through the same way I predicted. So I think this year my prediction is not going to be anything different. I see JCB, Jenny's Club Abidjan going through. Spinters Knights are going to go through for sure. The Alan Couton
Yeah.
for me. Yeah, in this group,
All right.
certainly.
Yeah, I'm liking, yes, Johannes Club Abidjan. I think having seen how they perform, how they had recruited in their domestic season with
Hmm.
players like Ulrich Kra from
Yeah,
Cote d'Ivoire, Jim Rabaye from Central African Republic, Maxi Shamba. So they
yeah,
had recruited well. It will be interesting if they'll have Jim Rabaye back and Maxi Shamba back for this tournament. And also Spintex next. Yeah. So yes, like the player you mentioned, James Amatoe.
James
I
Amoto.
had seen him, Amatoe. I had seen him, yes, in Rwanda. Followed him playing for UGB in Rwanda, and also on the three
Three, yeah.
X3 a couple of years back here in South Africa when he represented his university
Yeah, yeah,
team.
yeah, yeah.
I think they had won
University of
that
Cape Town.
tournament as well. So yeah, very phenomenal player. It will be, yeah, I think those two teams that you mentioned, yes, no bias to Ghana, but yes,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think
No, the
Spintex will
problem,
make it.
you see, the
Team
problem
from
I always have with the only problem I have with the Ghana team, Spinters Nice, is their recruitments are very bad. They don't go for good recruitments. They don't have
yeah,
strong recruitment team. Because last season the players they brought in, some were averaging 1.1 points in a game. But these players are from the States. How do you average
yeah.
1.1 points in three, we played 3 games and you average 1.1 point? I don't know. I don't know. But maybe this
I
season
think
they'll do
one
better.
of the things as I think also like just on that point, one of the things about recruitment, you have to know like when last a player played, he can't be
Exactly.
a player that's just been sitting at home for the last 6 months and all of a sudden you pick him up because yeah, of course on your budget as well. But at
Yeah,
least find a player that can get you to your objective and not somebody who's been
exactly.
sitting at home for 6 months and yeah, now has to play
Exactly.
themselves into what competitive fitness.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest issues of clubs in these tournaments. And
Hmm.
just the last group.
Yeah, Group
What do we
C.
have? It's
We have
ASB,
New
New
Generations.
Generation, DR Congo, New Tech, Central African Republic, Equatorial Guinea team to be determined, and Moanda,
Hmm.
BBC of Gabon. I'll give you
Eish,
that one as well.
new. This group is coming in with new faces, except Moana BBC, which they were here a previous season. Some, I think that's way back in 2020. We are in 2025, 2023. They were in the road to be in 2023. A new generation are a new team that just won their league as well. New Tech came in because Bengu Sports couldn't make the playoff because of some issues they had in their league. So New Tech won their playoffs. So I don't know much about New Tech that much. I just saw it's a couple of guys playing, enjoying basketball. For me, that's how I see them. Couple of guys enjoying basketball. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what they are going to bring. What they are going to bring in this competition, because this is a competition whereby I'd say it's much harder than the tournament itself. For me, I see the road to bar
Yes.
as a very tough stage for me. So yeah, a new generation has got a couple of players, experienced players, and though I might
Yeah.
not mention their name tooth for tooth or that way, but they've got very good players. Maybe they might go for Maxi Shamba as well. As you said, maybe they can go for
Okay.
Maxi Shamba because he played against them in the
He played for
finals.
the.
Terros, he
Okay.
played for Terros in the fight against them in the
Okay.
finals. So maybe they can go for him. So yeah, for me, Mwanda is a very strong team. Also, we saw them in 2023 Road to Bow, though they couldn't make the Elite 16. They've got a good solid team, and Gabon is being known to be one of the great basketball teams, countries with good talents. Just that it's unfortunate their federation also don't push that much too, so we don't hear much about them. But I think for me, I'll go for new generations in this group and Mwanda BBC in this group. I don't see New Tech. I don't see New Tech pulling anything. They're adding up to the numbers as well. So, yeah,
Yeah.
obviously.
Nah. All right. All right. For me, I don't know. I'll probably just based on strength, I'll go for the DR Congo club and
Mm,
well, and maybe the Mwanda BBC club as well. I think maybe
yeah.
those are yes, being the dark horse in that group. But yes, new
Mm,
generation will be the one that tops the group and makes it to the Elite 16.
yeah, yeah. In this division, I think 8 teams are qualifying to the next stage, where they'll go join Cape Verde. Cape Verde's team Creole Stars in the Elite 16. Because Cape Verde is already through to the Elite 16. I think Cape Verde, Nairobi City Thunders,
Okay.
and Johannesburg Giants are already through to the Elite 16.
Yes.
So they are
Yes.
just waiting for the teams from the first group phase. So I think for me, the total 8 teams I'll pick out of this is CRBT from Mali, Al Ali Benghazi from Libya, JCA from Cote d'Ivoire, Spintex Knights from Ghana, New Generations from DR Congo, Moana Basketball Club from Gabon. Maybe I'll add Elon Couton, and maybe some surprise dark horse I'll choose will be AS Douanes from Burkina Faso. From me,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
All right. Yeah, that sounds. Yeah, let me see. I'll go for yes, the Malian club, just based on strength. Al Ahly Benghazi. That's my Johannes Johannes Club Abidjan, Elan Coton, Nana, yes, and Spintex Knights and
Mm,
New Generation. That's 8, right? I miss
yeah. No, I think you left with 2 more to go to
2
complete.
more to go.
Yeah,
Okay, New Generation and Mwanda BBC.
one.
Yeah, let's see. I'll go
Service.
with the Central African Republic Club. Yeah,
Okay, New Tech. Okay. Okay, my group of
let's
guys
see.
playing basketball. Yeah, let's see how it
Yeah,
goes. But to our viewers who don't actually understand the process to the road to ball, so this is just the group phase whereby 21 teams are competing, and out of the 21, there are 13 teams that are going to join the already 3 teams that are qualified to the Elite 16. So out of these 13 teams, they are going to be every in each group, 2 teams will qualify from each group. and the third best two, I think two third best teams, three third best teams are going to join as well to make it 13. Then that 13 will be facing, will go join the likes of Johannesburg Giants, Nairobi City Tenders, and as well the Crew Stars from Cape Verde. Then they will play the early 16. The early 16 stage, four teams are going to compete. Four teams are going to go out, qualify two from the west, two from the east as well. Then those four teams are going to join already 12 teams, or already eight teams that have qualified. So there's eight teams, eight countries that have automatic spots to the BAL already. That's
Yes.
Nigeria, Egypt, Senegal, South Africa, Morocco,
Rwanda, Tunisia.
Tunisia, yes, Tunisia, and Angola. Angola. Those are the eight
Yes.
teams that are already there. So even Johannesburg Giants already are through to the BL as it stands now because they have a spot. So they are just
Yeah.
adding up to the numbers to just exercise their legs, made up for the BL itself. So yeah, South Africans shouldn't be scared. They still have a chance to BL. They're already there already, so they shouldn't worry at all. They're already there,
Yeah.
so yeah. Yeah, yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
So let's move from BAL to the WBLA Women Basketball League Africa. This is my first time trying to focus on the Women's African League as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, I really don't know much about this, but I know they have a qualifying stage where they play, and which will be happening in
Yeah.
Namibia, as you said, and in Kampala. Then
Yeah, so they'll have the zonal qualifiers. I think this zone six will have its first qualifiers in a long time. Obviously, teams from Southern Africa, you'll have your Bravehearts women coming, the Dolphins women from Botswana. I assume they'll be coming. The host club from Namibia, the Mozambique champions, that's Ferroviario, the Angolan
mm,
champions, that's Sporting Club de Luanda. So, yeah, I think from there, obviously, the best two clubs will probably qualify for that stage. It's a 12 team, the main tournament is a 12 team competition. So, the
mhm.
best top two finishers or three finishers will get what spots
Pass to the
to complete the
Egypt,
what the 12 what's the tournament
Egypt.
happening in Cairo, Egypt. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I think of course we are sending. I think South Africa will be sending a team for the very first time. I'm not sure
Yes,
on the
sir.
history of our participation in the tournament. Montana Vikings, we've spoken about them earlier. But I think what the strong teams will come from Angola and Mozambique. So
Mozambique.
you
Yeah,
can expect them
definitely.
to punch in their tickets to that tournament. Let's go into East
The zone
Africa.
five.
Now you've got some very strong clubs there as well.
Yeah.
Your REG champions of Rwanda, Kenya Ports Authority champions of Kenya, Uganda still having
CNSS.
their
CNSS
uh,
from DR Congo.
oh yes, DR Congo, yes. So and in Cameroon as well, you'll have. I'm not sure if it's who the champions are there, but
FAP.
they usually
FAP is the champions.
FAP.
Yeah,
All
FAP.
right. So yeah, they well Cameroonian teams haven't been that strong in the tournaments, but yeah, they will probably what hope for to significantly improve this time around. In Nigeria, is it Dolphins that have
Yeah,
qualified?
Dolphins. Punch their ticket,
And they
yes.
beat
Dolphins.
Customs, correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They beat
So I think
MFM.
those two, or MFM, yes.
Yeah,
So
MFM.
I think yes, Nigerian teams will probably I don't know what I'm not sure about them in the continental scene. They haven't really lit it up like the national team has lit it up in the
Mm,
Afro basket. What I think is again maybe a team from Southern Africa like Ferroviario de Maputo will be the likely contender. Teams from North Africa, this is
Africa, yeah.
your El Ahly of Egypt.
ASP.
Your West African teams will probably be your ASVille Dakar, who are the champions of
Yeah,
Senegal. And yeah, maybe a team from Rwanda as well will make it to the last
yeah,
four. But it's still
yeah,
early days. It's still gonna teams still have to qualify. But I
yeah,
think
yeah.
in my mind, I don't think much will change from what we saw last year.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Much won't change because when it comes to the ladies' side, it's one-sided. This country dominates and they dominate for long. That's how it looks
Yeah.
because we don't invest much into the ladies' basketball in some parts of Africa. The investments are very minimum when it comes to ladies' basketball. So I think the countries that are doing great in investing in the ladies' basketball, they always keep dominating. Those are the likes of
Yes.
Egypt, Tunisia, Rwanda,
Yeah.
Mozambique,
Yeah. Yeah.
Kenya, and those stuff.
Angola. So
So
that's yeah. What's
yeah,
gonna? Yeah. I don't know what you, yes, what else you'd like to add to the thing, to the discussion regarding the women's tournament. But yeah, I think, as I had said, yeah, not much is going to change from what we saw from the previous year.
oh yeah. Match is not going to change. Match is not. As I said, this is my first time trying to focus on the women's basketball league. But I followed last season, but I didn't follow much. I think I didn't really know the formats, but now I'm getting to know the formats whereby it's being played according to the zones. And
Yes.
recruitment levels are very high also when it comes to that side. Recruitment levels are going to side. And I say we expect teams from Senegal, teams from Mozambique, teams from Angola, teams from Kenya. Those top teams are obviously going to dominate anytime, any day because yeah,
Yeah,
it all boils down to the investment to make how strong your
of
league, your
course.
women's league looks. Yes, Tanzania is also
Yeah.
trying. We've got DB, is it Don Bosco Lioness also going this year from Tanzania. They won the
Okay.
league actually, so Don Bosco Lioness will be going. Mamba Black Mamba from Guinea also. I don't know if
Guinea,
they'll be
yes.
going, but they won their league, Black Mamba from Guinea. So yeah, I don't know for the team from Benin though. But I think the team from Benin, I forgot the team that won the league in Benin. I think I've forgotten, but
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
I think we will have a team from Benin also from Nigeria. I don't. Ghana is not going. Please don't ask me about Ghana. Ghana doesn't have a team. I don't think Ghana is
Yeah.
qualified. So yeah, so it's going to be one sided always. For the women's now, it's going to just to be one sided. Fevaro, Alali, APR, those teams are just going to dominate. Then we can't
Dominate,
say
yeah.
much about it, but our viewers should just watch out. The groupings are going to come on our social media pages where they could follow and see what is happening. If they want deeper understanding or broad knowledge about it, they should just check out our pages, Growing the Game on IG, Twitter, and stuff, and the Big Tip Off page also on Instagram, Twitter, and other places. Then they are going to have much knowledge about what is happening when it comes to the WBAL. Yeah, I think all said and done, we've talked about mostly everything. Maybe there is something I'm forgetting. Maybe you could bring up.
Nah, man, I think we've covered every topic. I think, yeah, till the next episode. Yeah. Thank you very much for the invite again and keep growing the game.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So this brings us to the end of episode 13 of Growing the Game. Sorry we had to take that long break in bringing this episode, but finally we're back on track due to some technical issues. But I think we've resolved it a bit now. So yeah, thank you for watching this episode, and until next time, keep growing the game. Bye.
Cheers.